So hello guys, welcome back to another video. This is lecture number 3 of our React Mastery course, and in this lecture we are gonna dive more deeper into understanding what JSX really is. So as you know, in the last lecture we learned how to show up a component on our screen. So as you can see, this is the previous code. So now as you can see, this thing right here is an JSX code, and as we know from the previous lectures that a browser does not know what JSX really is, and it only understands JavaScript. We also learned that Babel is a tool which converts JSX code into pure JavaScript code. So how does that work? Let us see with a slide. So as you can see there, this is what we write in our JSX code. H1, and this is the content of the H1. Hi there. So what Babel does, Babel translates this JSX code into pure JavaScript codes, and as you can see, this code right there and this code right here, these both are same codes. Doesn't matter if we write this or if we write this, these both codes will give us same results. So then you might be wondering, why do we use JSX at all? Why don't we use simple JavaScript code? So at a very basic level, it is, you can see this and say that why do we use JSX at all, and why don't we use simple JavaScript to write our codes? But when we move to the more complex apps and we write more and more lines of code, it becomes very complex to write that code and make components in pure JavaScript. So coders, means us, we usually prefer to use JSX, which is more easy to understand and write than the pure JavaScript. As you can see there, we need to pass a function called react.createElement, and then we pass these two arguments, h1 and hi there, and then this line of code of JavaScript returns an object which our browsers understand. So this object tells us that this is a type of h1 and the content of this h1 is hi there. So this is how our basic JSX code gets converted into JavaScript code which the browser can understand and how it works. So also writing just JSX code in the code editor doesn't do something, because we actually need to return that. When we write JSX code in a functional component, we need to return the JSX code from that component. For example, if we just write JSX code right here, like so now as you can see there, if we write something like h4 and write hi friends. So if we run this line of code and check our screen, now we can see that nothing happens, because in order to work a JSX code, we need to return that code from our function. So writing any JSX code without returning that from our component doesn't make it work. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, most of the times we would not prefer using hard-coded data inside the tags of our JSX code. So we will now learn how can we use JavaScript variables inside our JSX code. So now instead of writing this, we will write this by first making a JavaScript variable, naming that message, and here we will write hi there. So now if we want to use this message variable inside our JSX code, how can we use? For that we use curly braces. message. So now after we have used message inside our curly braces, now this can work, and if we run this code, it will show us hi there. But you might be wondering that will we see these curly braces or not? So the answer is no. These curly braces are meant to tell the React to find this variable and then print the context which is inside this. So now let's run this code. Okay, so now you can see hi there is printed here. Okay, so now you can see hi there is printed here. So okay, so now you can see hi there is printed here. So now we will understand how this works with the help of a slide. So now when we set a variable inside our functional component and use this syntax h1 curly braces message, so this tells React to find this variable and then print the content inside it. So that's how it works, and you will mostly see this syntax whenever you are using any string or number. Like here I am using a string and here I am using a number, and it is a calculation in which I am summing two numbers. So now we will do this. We will delete this for a second and we will print message. For example, suppose you want to do some calculation. And if you will generate a random number by math dot random, if this number is greater than 0.5, then we will print then we will set the message to by. So now whenever we run this code, there are chances that we would get high and there are also chances that we would also get by. So let's check this code. So now there is an error. Now let's run this code. Okay, so the problem is that we can't change a constant, so we will change it variable here. So now you can see this works, because as we know that constants can't be changed. So this is how it works, and we can print either strings or numbers like this. So you can see 2 is printed here. But what if we want to print a boolean like true? So we will not say anything here, cause React does not understand the booleans, either if we use true or if we use false. So you can see it does not work. So now we have learned that React only accept variable if it has value of either a string or a number. So now we will check if it accepts array and objects. So to check this, we will make an array 2, 3. So now here we will get an unexpected result. Let me show you. So React just remove all the commas and put the number directly. And now if we check object, we can see that there is nothing showing because React does not accept objects also. We will understand this through a slide. So as you can see here, constant config is equal to color red, and if we return config, this will show nothing, or it might even show error because React only understands arrays, numbers and strings, and it does not understand boolean and objects. So you better might be careful when using objects as JavaScript variables because you can't print them in the JSX code. So guys, this was how can we print JavaScript variables inside our JSX code, and this was all for today. In the next lecture we will do some more complex things. So see you in the next lecture. Thank you.